In our timeline, the Russian Empire lost many battles against the Germans and the Bolsheviks, leading to the capitulation, and Tsar Nicholas II was deemed as a weak and puny Tsar for the Russians. However, in this video, we're going to be playing as the Russian Empire, and we're going to be keeping Tsar Nicholas II in charge. For as I believe, if he chose a more different and radical path compared than sticking with the Entente and trusting them, we will be able to triumph over the evils in the world. So, in this video, I'm going to be transforming the Russian Empire into something more and greater than every single major power on the face of this earth. And since we're going against the Duma, we are going to have to convince the population that we're going down the best path for the Russian Empire. Now, we haven't only got decisions to complete, we've also got focuses to do as well, which contributes to Nicholas II getting more influence over the Russian people with this change. Now, we are also going to change some political advisors, for as they are more liberal than wanted. And also, we're going to have to do a big change with our diplomatic state on the globe by leaving the Entente. Our departure is going to be absolutely devastating for the French, for as they're the only nation along with their puppets in the Entente. However, we're not able to do any more focuses to contribute to this side of the focus tree yet. We have to improve our industry. We have to have over 50 civilian factories to progress down our focus tree. So, let's indulge in the industrial side of the focus tree. Now, the 20 years of peace, national spirit, is quite nice if I do say so myself. And with the completion of this focus, we'll get a political advisor which contributes to civilian factory increase of construction speed. And oh yeah, we convinced the people that Nicholas II's way of dismissing and drifting away from the Duma is the best place for the Russian Empire. Well, we have added the political advisor, so hopefully he'll help. And oh yeah, we're gonna go down this side of the industrial side of the focus tree, whereas we want to focus on our civilian economy first, because it's early game and we can focus on military later. Now, diverting away from our military factories would come at a cost, since we've got to increase the army size of the mighty Russian army, so that means we'll have less funds to fuel the mighty Russian army. And yeah, there have been some strikes across our nation, but no, unfortunately we're going to have to go down the more harsh decision, and as a result that causes a massacre. A few focuses later, which give us civilian factories, we are now over 50 civilian factories, meaning we can complete ban trade unions. Not something I prefer, but I guess it's necessary to get rid of those national debuffs. But this focus changes everything, for as once we complete this focus, we will change ideologies. Not really, we're staying authoritarian, but a different type of authoritarian. We have now got a new Russian Empire, a new Tsar, or he's still Nikolai II, but he's new and improved. But even though we completed a major focus, we are also going to complete another one, which forms a faction between the three major monarchs: Cousin William II, the British, and us, the Russians. Now, I'm not I guess we have to do this, but I'm not on board with forming a faction with the Germans and the British, because I plan to conquer them later on in the video, but oh well. But do you know who we can attack, who are extremely weak and fragile at this current moment? That's right, the Ottoman Empire. So, I've sent over my army. Hopefully we can overrun and defeat the Ottoman Empire with ease, but you never know. maybe the Ottomans are a secret superpower who are just said to be weak. Well, let's find out. Now, surprisingly, the Ottoman Empire was quite strong against us. It took a while for my army to break through the front line, and I couldn't pull off a naval invasion since my navy in the Black Sea wasn't that strong. Now, I wanted the Ottoman Empire all to myself, so I didn't call on the British or the Germans. Now, I did finally break through the front line. However, I would face similar problems, even though they had little to no entrenchment. They had a plethora of divisions, and they kept spamming last stands, so it was quite annoying and tedious. However, we would overcome these hardships and push through and encircle a few divisions, which is pretty nice. Now, you may be asking, how would World War I occur since Germany, England, and Russia are in the same faction without the Austrians and the French? Well, turns out the Austrians, Ottomans, and the French would all join the Entente and declare war on us. However, the Austrians were pretty weak. They didn't expect an invasion from the Germans and the Russians at the same time, ultimately the Serbian brothers. However, our front against the Ottomans did make some advancements. We cut Asia Minor off from the Middle East, or the Arabian Peninsula actually. But that's besides the point. We continued to advance into Austrian territory and Hungarian, while the French would collapse, all because of the Germans. The Germans were actually pretty strong. Well, I mean, the French were fighting against the strongest navy in the world, Britain, and the Germans. But that's besides the point anyways. What am I yapping about? Oh yeah, so I tried to capture Constantinople, whereas Constantinople had major significance to us, and it was a grand success. We captured Constantinople. Well, I just snaked a division over there. However, I was met with some resistance, so I had to send over some more divisions, but it wasn't really much of a fuss. And the Ottoman Empire would soon crumble along with the Austrians and the French. And I think that's it. The Great War has been won by, what do we call it? The Brother Alliance, I think. The Russian Empire, Germans, and British have overcome and remain triumphant with their wars against the Entente. Nice. However, the peace conference on the Russians' behalf wasn't so pleasant. I mean, we did gain Galicia, as I pronounce it, I don't know, but that little territory south of Poland, some territories in eastern Turkey, and Constantinople. It's alright, but thousands of Russian soldiers died for just Constantinople and the little Polish territory to the south. Yeah, it's not worth it. Look at the Germans, what they got. It's disgraceful. The Germans barely did anything. They just focused on France when we had to do all the hard work. It's a disgrace. And with the Copenhagen Convention, the Russian Empire gets nerfed even further. Since we were the victors of the Great War, we won't be expecting any wars anytime soon. However, that's not going to be the case, because we need to get a revenge. The Germans keep winning and winning and winning, while we keep getting mediocre results. We just had the biggest war of the century, For what? Constantinople? That's it? The Ottoman Empire is still strong and standing. Nah, I've had enough. And just as things couldn't get any worse, we were hit with a major pandemic. It is not a good time to be a Russian citizen. However, with the geniuses of our scientists, we would overcome yet another hardship and get rid of the little virus. Very nice. Now you can also see that we've got zero divisions, so it's time to rebuild the Russian Empire. And we're going to put them to the test by helping out the Austrians. Since we betrayed the Germans, obviously, we're going to try and get their southern brother, the Austrians. And we're going to help them reunite their Austrian Empire. As you can see, our troops have already capitulated Hungary. Now the Austrians have got no divisions, so our volunteers are doing all the work. But it's going to be really hard because we're also fighting Serbia, Bosnia, and the Hungarians. Not to mention our major equipment deficit. And oh yeah, it looks like our own puppets are betraying us from the inside. Well, as you can see, we're taking a defensive stand on the Serbian border. We're going to slowly push until we can eventually capture Belgrade. And if we take a look at the statistics, you can see that we've inflicted over 200,000 casualties on their behalf, all from Russian volunteers. Well, we have captured the Serbian capital, and we would advance into Bosnia. For as we capitulated Serbia and the Hungarians, so they're on the Austrian side. There's the Bosnians gone, and we're also going to invade the Albanians because we're already at war then. And oh yeah, just to mention, we are also going to annex Galicia. I think that's how you pronounce it. But they've been assimilated into the Russian Empire. And look at this. The Belgians have risen up against the German dictatorship, and they're actually winning. And oh yeah, this video is all done because a viewer recommended it. So if you wanna see your own video idea, just comment it down in the comment section below. Oh dang. The Austrians have betrayed us. They have joined the German Empire. However, it looks like that the French Empire has returned, along with the British Empire. So, the Entente has been reformed. And also, to tackle the German threat, I'm gonna have to join the Entente. The Triple Entente has been reunited, just as it was in our timeline. And oh yeah, I also invaded Western Ukraine because they were kind of like a little buffer zone in between the Central Powers and the Entente. Now, looks like the French are reverting back to their old ways. The Napoleon family is yet again invading Italy. They're trying to reconquer their former territory stolen from the Kingdom of Italy. However, they have dragged us into the war, and the Kingdom of Italy was guaranteed by the Germans. I was prepared for war, but my army is nowhere near the size of the Germans, especially the Austrians. So, let's just see how this goes. Now, obviously, our army was vastly outnumbered. Our air force, navy were all outnumbered. I did try an initial push. For us, I thought the French were actually strong, along with the British Empire. However, that would not work, and we would be humiliated, just like we were in the First World War in our timeline. So, instead of making the same mistake and getting pushed so far back through the result of a revolution, we're going to have to set up a defensive little retreat line behind the river. But we're going to keep Kiev because it's a major city and we don't want to lose that, which will decrease army morale and hope of ever defeating the Germans. Now our allies weren't doing much better from we. Actually, we were doing the best out of all the French, British and Russians. For as the French and British would succumb to the ultimate demise and capitulate to the Reichsmacht. The Russian Empire is all alone. We stand alone, yet we stand strong and united. Hopefully, with the power of the people, army, and Tsar Nicholas II, who will overcome these hardships and prevail over evil in Europe. Well, I think the time is right. It's time for some breakthrough. Enough of this endless stalemate. It's time to act. Now, it was hard until we could break through the front line. Once we did, our troops flowed into our former territory, encircling a majority of the forces on our front line. We would launch a full-scale invasion on all fronts, and it would be a grand success. We would push them further and further until we could push them no more.
Боевою песней это не впервой нам бить врагов советской солнечной земли. Боевую песню мы в былые годы на штыке советском гордо пронесли. Гадам нет пощады, нет спасения гадам. Пуля ликстрети, ты молодец, штыки. Мы врага спросили, ну разве вас не били? Так может вы отвыкли, может вы забыли. Немцы захотели высадить на суше свой десант в тумане, не видя никого. И перестреляла ты всех до одного. Гадам нет пощады, нет спасения гадам. Пуля ликстрети, ты молодец, штыки. Мы врага спросили, ну разве вас не били? Так может вы отвыкли, может вы забыли, может вы...
Being honest, this war was a complete and utter nightmare. It's so messy, so many fronts to take care of. They were naval invading me, left, right and centre. It's just chaos. However, we were within victory's grasp. So, let's keep pushing. Well, that was it. The Russian Empire has completely defeated the Reichspecht and all of its allies. This is a result of the peace conference. It was a total Russian victory, so we got everything. Now I know the borders are messy, but I don't have the toolpack mod equipped. For some reason it doesn't work in this mod. And the final war of the video will be against China and its allies. Why? Just to clear up the Asian threat which lurks on Eastern Front. Not to mention that we have got to avenge our soldiers who died for nothing against the Japanese in the Russo-Japanese War. Well, our campaign against the Chinese was a major success, and they eventually capitulated to the mighty Russian Empire, would annex northern China and Japan and puppet or remains of China. Now, throughout our quite long campaign, we have accomplished a lot. We have got our revenge on the Germans, defeated the Chinese, Japanese, basically all of Europe as well. So, it's safe to say that we're the strongest nation on the globe, and will be for quite some time. Tsar Nicholas II has done all of this. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care.